Alright everyone, welcome back to another Destiny 2 game video with your favorite YouTuber, the XX Aztec. The audio might be a little messed up in this one. I redid all my Elgato settings, so hopefully they won't be too messed up, but we're just going to go ahead and give it the old college try. Starting off, this will be a Titan Strand build with the Abandoned Leaps. This will be able to go into the Avant-Garde if you just swap Machine Gun to Unwavering Duty like that right there. For these purposes, however, I do like the Promemoria a little bit better just in general play. Starting off with the Strand subclass, I run Rally Barricade, Strafe Lift, Frenzied Blade, Shackle Grenade. I run into the fray, Dranger's Lash, and then my fragments are Isolation, Threat of Mind, Threat of Transmutation, and Threat of Continuity. Now, here is the way this build kind of plays into each other, right? Dranger's Lash, you suspend them, right? Into the fray, destroying a Tangle, grants you Woven Mail. Okay, well, when you defeat an enemy that's by a Strand debuff, well, it says it right there under Tangle. Defeating a Strand debuff grants a Tangle. Well, what's Suspend? Suspends a debuff, so you're going to get a Tangle, right? Well, Precision hits, Severing Burst, another debuff, so you're getting more Tangles. Class Ability Energy. Class Ability Energy goes back into our barricades to get us more Dranger's Lash, to suspend to get even more Tangles. Woven Mail. We're already going to have Woven Mail from our Dranger's Lash with our just suspend debuffs getting our Tangles. We're going to have Woven Mail to create more Tangles to get more Woven Mail. Looky there. Suspend, Unravel, and Sever. All our debuffs. Your melee, Strand debuff grants Tangles, and all our debuffs last longer. So, we have basically infinite Suspend already, right? With our Shackle Grenades and between our barricades. We're already gonna have infinite Suspend, and we're gonna have infinite Woven Mail. Our exotic is Abandoned Leaps, improved Dranger's Lash, spawns additional projectiles, track more aggressively, travel farther, suspend stronger, gain Woven Mail when you suspend a target. Well, that's weird. So now that I can suspend a target, I already get the Woven Mail. And now, every time I create a Tangle, which is any time I get a kill now, basically, I get even more Woven Mail. So I can constantly reset Woven Mail. Okay, I like that, right? So that's going to work together. Now, just going over our basic mods here, I am running Tier 5 armor. The build I have saved for this, as you can see, it is Tier 4, Tier 2, and Tier 3s, legendaries. Basically, it's the exact same mods, but I did look at my armor, and I found this armor to be a little bit better. So, just going over here, we have our Solar Strand Siphons, which is part of the artifact, Powerful Preservation, and Radiant Light. So, when we cast our supers, which is going to be almost all the time, because we have above 100 super. In my previous video, I did mention that 100 super is almost mandatory for any build that I run these days, because if you don't have 100 super, in my opinion, you're throwing whatever you're in, especially in the raids. Especially in raids, harder content, having a super is just really all around really good, especially for this one, considering you can suspend stuff. This build is really good for mythic missions in Kepler, mythic missions in general, exploring mythic Kepler. For higher end content on Titan, if I'm not running Prismatic or Arc Titan, or not even Arc Titan, if I'm not running Prismatic Titan with a T-Crash chestplate and we've been struggling for a while, I throw this build on, everything gets a lot easier because everything's suspended. Even for farming, this build is really good for farming, especially if you have, if like with the ultimate coming out for Ash and Iron, right? We're all going to be a little bit below leveled. I'm not even 430 yet, so I'm going to be a little under-leveled running the ultimate stuff, so this will definitely come in handy for being able to suspend everything. Radiant Light. Casting your super, nearby allies increase their armor charge. Now, the key part for this, the allies that have a different super element than you increase armor charge by 2. When exactly is anyone else on your team running Strand unless they're on a Titan? Hunter, they got the grapple melee, but most of the time they're running tether or stasis, right? Even on Priz. So it's going to stack for them as well. Warlocks, they're normally running solar, maybe void. They're not running Strand, at least maybe until Ash and Iron when they buff the threadlings. But realistically, everyone around you is not going to be running Strand, realistically. So that all stacks together, which is super nice. Continuing on to our arms, we have double solar loader and fastball, just for this thing right here. The Phononutria. If you know anything about this thing, the reload is not great. So just to help that out, we're going to throw on dual solar loaders, fastball for our shackle grenades. Chest plate, I just run all three of the resists. You can obviously change this to double solar and a sniper, or double arc and a melee, double stasis or double void and a concussive, just depending on what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? It really just depends on what you're playing, and obviously you can put on your generation as well. Once again, just depends on what you're playing. For my general play and for the purposes of this video, we're going to be doing all three resists. Continuing on, we have leg armor. It's pretty self-explanatory. Elemental charge, just because of our tangles. You know, we create so many of them, it's a pretty good chance we're going to get an armor charge and solar weapon surges. We still have the collecting an orb right here with our Strand stuff. This just helps out. It's not like with stasis where this is the only form of generation. We could run stacks on stacks, but there's not really a point considering we have all the tangles and the orbs of light. Especially if you're playing in a fire team, you just get a lot of general good stuff, good armor charge rates and everything like that. Moving on, we have our Titan mark, time dilation. For most every build you're going to see time dilation is a must-have, in my opinion. If you don't have time dilation, you're not really optimizing to the best of your abilities. Reaper, just because we're going to be getting our class ability so often, and proximity ward for those higher health enemies. Let's see here. Starting with our super. 100 super is absolutely mandatory for me. Could I increase this up a little bit? Yes, I could. But I want higher weapons because our super is not the point of this. Like, our weapons and suspend are, right? 100 class, 19-second ability cooldown, absolute must-have. If you can't have 100 super and you can't already have 100 weapons, throw everything you have into class. Class is going to be the most important thing here. Okay, that's what keeps our suspend up. That's what keeps our woven mail up. That's what keeps everything up, is class. Quite literally because they're being suspended. Get it? Sorry. With our weapons, large ammo for heavy, and then just the damage increase overall. Yeah, you get the 4.8 and the 7.3, but just having that 15% and the large ammo is really, really nice. Artifact. So I'm gonna do this while I am going over this right now, right? So why am I not running Shield Crush? Well, I tried Shield Crush with this build, and it's nice, but realistically you're gonna want Tangled Web, right? Strand debuff, nearby combatants, it's gonna help. It's gonna suspend a lot more, right? And then if we keep on looking back at this, Strand damage increases the damage of the explosion, right? So a lot of this stuff is just like things I was trying, but realistically you could get away with running like anything you want in the artifact. I would say tightly woven is going to be your best option here. Here, it really just depends on what you want. Because it is going to be under Strand, I definitely want Threaded Blast and Cauterized Darkness. And then we want Elemental Overdrive and Tangled Web. Oh, goodness. I'm throwing. I'm sorry, guys. Hang on. Tightly woven. That. And then we want that. And we want elemental overdrive and tangled web. Okay. So, just to give us all a rundown of what we're using here, we have tightly woven for our class ability, refresh threads, which realistically doesn't really matter that much. You could definitely get away with running something else here if you really wanted to. Elemental buff grants class ability energy. If you can figure out a way to buff your teammates on like Strand without Banner of War, and it gives you class ability, leave it down in the comments. Maybe I'm missing something, but leave it down in the comments. I guess you could do. No, okay, I don't know how to do it. So leave it down in the comments for any suggestions. It'd be really helpful, and I would drastically appreciate it. Threaded Blast. If you use this, you already know about it. Strand Tangle, exploding it, really nice. If they're not a boss and you suspend them, which is the whole point of the build, you take extra solar damage. What's our secondary? Solar. Comes together really well. Elemental Overdrive and Tangled Web. So, I'm just gonna do a solo ops here, just to show you guys that it can do things. We're gonna throw it on Grandmaster, Rage and Shroud. We'll do difficult solar threat, and we'll do blasts, right? Well, we won't make it super hard, but we'll do chill touch, and we'll do like hot knife. Oh, it's gonna be very hard. What if I just there we go. So it's on hard, right? Let's go ahead and launch into it. A lot of my videos, or my past videos, I didn't do a gameplay just because mainly I didn't know how. This is going to be a live commentary here going into this, because I don't want it to be me thinking I'm tricking you guys or anything like this. It's just a straight build that I thoroughly like to use and I enjoy. Obviously with Mint Retrograde, I'm not going to go for any of the challenges on this because I'm just going to show you guys the capabilities of the actual build itself. But if we let's roll into this here. Weapon takedowns, okay, that's pretty good. So, just for the purposes of this build, I am running Mint Retrograde, the Farah, and the Strand Heavy. Obviously, you don't have to run the Strand Heavy, and I'm not running an exotic. You could definitely run Navigator as a secondary choice. It would work pretty well, I'd say. Look, right there. Alright, come on, guys. I feel like that worked out pretty well right there. And we already have our barricade back. Still have woven mail up, by the way. Hey, look. More woven mail. So it kind of just like... Oh, they're getting next to us? Okay. Well, let's just get our woven mail back. We still have our solar weapon boost, right? Hey, look, another tangle. Like, it works so well, and it's so nice. I don't really have an objection on this video. Or not video, but this build, right? Like, just in that little bit alone, you could see that, yeah, my health got pretty low, right? We can all agree on that. Health got pretty low. But, I didn't die. And we still have our solar weapon boost for our weapons. Also for tenacity. Also, look at our super gen right there. We already have our super. Basically. So, yeah, there's a lot of, like, give and takes with this build. Obviously, when you're farming, you're not going to be killing the most adds, and you're not going to be heavy damage things or anything like that. But, like, realistically, you can still do the damage, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be the worst thing ever in the world. I mean, look at there. They're still suspended. Right? With our strand gun. keep it rolling. I definitely think this build has its place. Obviously, Mint Retrograde being as strong as it is just super nice. But you don't really, I haven't really found a thing this build couldn't go into and it not be perfectly fine. In my opinion, Strand is definitely one of the more, like, I'd say awesome builds that you can run for, like, ease of gameplay. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, obviously, for the raid, you want to run damage supers and stuff like that, because, you know, it's a boss rush. But, like, for other raids, like, this is still going to be perfectly fine. And there's still definitely, like, reasons to run this. I don't necessarily know of a reason why you couldn't run this and be perfectly substantial. Like, especially with incandescent. Like, does it take a little bit longer? Absolutely. Absolutely. No one's debating that. This is not a kill all the ads build by any means. But it's still going to be able to perform in that extra high level content, especially running the mythic missions and everything like that. If you guys want to see me run this build in a mythic mission and just prove to you what I'm talking about with 3 of my friends, I definitely can. But this is just one of those things that it works perfectly fine. Like, and you know, I keep talking about the build, but this is really like my favorite build in the entire game. Definitely this season with the tangles and all that good stuff. It is really fun for me, and it is like really enjoyable. Now, there is one thing it does lack, and that to me is more of just like a so you don't have it type of thing, right? And that is the boss potential. It just doesn't have that boss damage, which is fine. There's no problem with that. But it would be nice to have, you know, like something. Like, I'm gonna show you guys here, and you know, the super is what it is, and it's not like, obviously it's not gonna be too difficult because it's only on hard. But yeah, full super. Huh. So I have a class ability, we have our solar. You're gonna run out of woven mail, right? Nope, just kidding. Oh, we have our class ability back? You guys don't want to be here? See you later, bud. You could spec this in with more melee, too, if you wanted more melee damage. That's not a problem either. But with Mint Retrograde, it's not the worst thing to ever exist in the world. Oh, he got me. But realistically, you know, it still works pretty well, and it's gonna do its job, and I enjoy it. Let's see here if we can't get this guy out of here. I am sorry for the choppy images. I feel like that is... Oh. Well, now I'm just throwing. My Elgato settings and my computer settings got all messed up. I tried fixing it the best I could, but I definitely have to do some more in-depth research. If you guys know anything about it, please let me know down in the comments. I would drastically appreciate it. I'm not tech savvy. But, oh, last revive. Let's see if we can't get it together here. Get these guys out of here. guy just running up on me. Let's see. Also, do you guys use the Strand melees as just like a way to like kind of run away? I'd say, give or take. That's what I do sometimes. I definitely use it as like a way to escape. There we go. Get him out. We're almost back to our super as well. Once again, that 100 super just comes in so nice. Man. Really can't say enough about it. Alright. Let's see what we can do here. At least kill this guy, right? Oh yeah. He's down and out. Alright. See if we can't get this guy on our creature. Alright, there we go. And he's beat. So, like I said, boss damage is not very good, as you guys can see right there. But realistically, like for ad clear and stuff like that, it comes in really nice. Just being able to suspend everything, hold everything where they're at, I really enjoy it. That is gonna call it for this video right here. I know it's a really long video. If you're just here for the build, just it was at the very beginning of the video. But I'm gonna call it right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any better options for this build, leave it down in the comments. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.